So this is another one of those, I'm not a real big fan of lockbox videos. I had an experience yesterday. I was out with clients that flew in from out of town to simply see 3 units. They have seen a bunch before, but they've narrowed it down to 3, and we're gonna make a decision at the end of the day. So the second listing that we get to, I have a lockbox code to use. We come up to the building, and the front of the building, there's a gate right next to the front door, probably has 18 lockboxes on it. So start out, not a good look. Number 2, I had a lockbox code and I had no idea which lockbox it was. I tried to text the agent, I tried to call the agent to ask them which lockbox belonged to him, so I didn't have to try them all. But he never called me back, so I had to try them all. But the interesting thing is, let's say the code was 4567, I'm just making that up. I get to the first lockbox and it's already dialed into 4567. The second lockbox, same thing. The third, the fourth, the fifth, all were dialed into 4567. I'm starting to realize that the agent before me didn't know which lockbox it was either and was doing the same thing I was doing, but didn't bother to scramble the numbers when they were done. A couple lockboxes were skipped, they didn't have that, and then a couple more, 4, 5, 6, 7. Literally, no lie, the very last lockbox that I came to was the right one. But think about it, anybody walking by that takes a look at, I'm gonna guess 10 of the lockboxes there were dialed into that code, are going to realize, wow, that is a code that works to one of these boxes here. And if they want to, they can just stand there just like I did, try them all until they get the one that 4, 5, 6, 7 opens. So think about it. Now there is a stranger that has opened the lockbox, has the keys to get inside the building, and also has the keys to the unit. Obviously the key to the unit it didn't have the unit number marked on the keys, but who wants a stranger having keys to the building and keys to your unit? It was not that big of a building, maybe 60, 65 units. Wouldn't take that long to go around and try them all until you get the one that opened the door that you wanted to open. So that's in my mind, that's kind of extreme. I don't think that usually happens, but it could. To me, it's a real bad security issue. And if I was selling my house, I wouldn't want my key hanging on a lockbox. Number one, just for the sheer fact of how bad it looks for the building, which again, my clients did comment on. That just looks terrible. What's wrong with this building? Why are so many for sale? Why are there just lockboxes hanging up? So they ended up discounting the building, and that was one of the reasons. It wasn't the only reason, but they knew that all these lockboxes were dialed into the code. They were standing right next to me, because at first I was questioning, oh my gosh, all these have this same code on them. And then I realized why. So, again, there's a really good use for lockboxes in our industry, and a lot of people use them, and especially in the suburbs. And I'm not saying I use them from time to time, but this was an extreme case of just carelessness on the agent's part. So if I were going to list my home and I was interviewing agents, that would be a really important question to ask. Do you use lockboxes? And if you do, how do you use them? How often do you use them? Because it's important. It's important to be there when you're showing your listings. You can't always 100% of the time be there, but if you can, I really think that it's a big help in getting the home sold.